He's a holistic health professional and an ACE personal trainer and nutritionist. He has a degree in holistic nutrition and HHP from the University of San Francisco and the Global College of Natural Medicine. He has lost over 100 pounds 5 years ago using the methods and lifestyle that he teaches. He speaks around the Midwest on nutrition and healthy living, and he's married and has 4 children, all boys, so Lord help you.
Thank you.
And he's done a lot of amazing things for a lot of people in this building, so please join me in welcoming Brian Nessel.
Thank you.
You're not going to do your normal welcome.
Thank you for having me out here today. Today we're going to be talking about exercise and the myths behind calories and calorie burning and what exercise is really all about. Back when I was my heaviest, I was about, I don't know, I might have been a donut shy of 350. I knew that I had to get to exercise in order to help me lose the weight that I wanted to lose, the speed that I wanted to lose it. But I was scared to death. I was intimidated. I didn't want to go to a gym and have everybody look at me and, watch me try to walk on a treadmill or lift a weight or anything like that. And that's what keeps a lot of people from joining a gym or, you have an amazing facility here. It keeps you from having the confidence and everything to start doing it. And what I learned, and learned quickly, is that people don't pay as much attention to you as you think they're going to. And when they do, it's because they're noticing how hard you're working. So that's kind of what I wanted to start with, is because getting into shape and getting healthy, you can do it through nutrition. You can lose weight through nutrition. But to truly, truly get healthy, you have to have the exercise portion of the equation. And if you want to have the weight loss, be faster and longer lasting, then exercise is definitely a major part of the equation. So what's the purpose of exercise? Well, there are 2 purposes. Number 1 is for cardiovascular health. And honestly, that is the most important part of exercising. Whether you're lifting weights or whether you're doing aerobic activity, getting on the treadmill, getting on the elliptical machine, anything like that, it is benefiting your heart and your lungs. And without your heart and your lungs being as healthy as they possibly can be, the rest of your body will not work the right way. If you can't get in enough oxygen in a normal day-to-day life, I'm not even talking about exercise, your metabolism is going to slow down. Your immunity is going to plummet, and you're going to have all these other health issues, everything from arthritis. People who have lung conditions are more prone to arthritis. I don't know if any of you knew that, because oxygen is a main source of helping to alleviate arthritis. So people that have some kind of cardiopulmonary disease, they're more prone to have arthritis. People who get on oxygen, especially people with emphysema who have terrible arthritis, when they get on oxygen, their arthritis feels better. It alleviates. And then the second they take the mask off, they feel worse again. Oxygen is a key component. So having a healthy heart and healthy lungs, that can keep you longer and longer away from getting the kind of arthritis and those kinds of pains. But your cardiovascular health is the most important part of your body. Without a healthy heart and healthy lungs, you're not healthy at all. The second reason to do exercise is for metabolic manipulation. Really, that's a textbook way of saying gain some muscle and change your metabolism. For every pound of muscle that you can gain, at rest, you are going to burn 70 more calories a day. That's at rest. So if you can gain 20 pounds of muscle, then in theory, you're going to be able to burn, somebody help me, 20 times a lot of calories in a day. I graduated from Harper Creek. Thank you very much. You know, in all of this calorie counting stuff, it's theoretical because everybody burns calories differently. When you get on a treadmill and they have you type in your weight and this and that, and then as you're going, it's telling you how many calories you're burning, it's not true. It's not an accurate measure. It depends on your basal metabolic rate. That's different than your BMI. It's kind of close. You know, somebody my height and my weight might burn off 100 calories, you know, per 500 steps that they take, regardless of the speed that they go. I will burn more than that because I have slightly more muscle mass than somebody that typically weighs about 210 pounds. The more muscle you have, the more calories it takes to activate the muscles. So muscle is the only thing that burns calories. Only thing. There's no other thing in your body that actually burns calories. You know, you burn calories when you're breathing, but the thing that's actually burning calories is your diaphragm, which is a muscle. You burn calories when you're chewing, but that's because of the muscles in your jaw. The only time you're burning calories is when muscles are reacting. Of course, we have one muscle that's going constantly all the time, and that's your heart. So you're burning calories even when you're sleeping. But the more muscle you have and the more active you can make those muscles, the more calories you're going to burn. When they do the treadmills and they do the programming to tell you how many calories are being burned, they base that on a muscular whatever pound you put in there. So if you put in 235 pounds, they're figuring that you are 235 pounds mostly of muscle. And they've gone by that calculation of the BMR. And then all of a sudden you're like, woo, I just burned 500 calories. Well, if you don't have a majority of the muscle out of that 235, you didn't burn that many calories. That's why, you know, if you get on a treadmill or something, I encourage you to get a magazine and put it over the thing so that, number one, you don't know the time that you're on the thing, because treadmill time and Stairmaster time is the slowest time known to man. And plus, I don't want you to be looking at the calories to have that be your basis for when you're done working out. When it comes to the metabolic manipulation, that has nothing to do with the treadmill. That has nothing to do with the Stairmaster. That has to do with lifting weights. The only way you can change your metabolism is to add muscle, and the only way to add muscle is to have resistance training. So that either means weights, or you can do isometric exercises, like if I sat against that wall in a seated position, I'm going to burn, you know, I'm going to burn leg muscle, but I'm also going to be building it. You can do push-ups, you can do sit-ups. All of that will build muscle. But come on in. You do not really gain muscle by doing running or doing the elliptical. You will initially, but it's not a muscle building kind of thing. If you have very little muscle when you first get on the elliptical, you know, for the first couple, 3-4 weeks, you'll build some muscle, but there's going to be a limit to which you're going to build it on an elliptical. When it comes to lifting weights, you can keep building and building and building until your body reaches its potential. So, how can you lose weight working out? Here's the answer. You can't. It's really that simple. Working out isn't what is making you lose weight. It is what is giving your body the tools to lose weight on its own. Because going back to the Stairmaster and the treadmill, when you're on that and it's telling you the calories that you've burned, it's not telling you, those calories that are burned, they don't necessarily have to deal with fat. Our body stores sugar in lots of different places, not just in fat. The first place it stores it is your liver. And that's the first place your body goes to try to get this energy reserve is your liver, because you already have sugar there. And the mitochondria that are in your liver, they're like the little teeny engines that are controlling our body and giving our body energy. We go to that sugar reserve first, and that's kicking out all this energy. So you have burned calories, but it's not fat calories. It's stored calories that were waiting in your liver. And your liver can hold like 1,500 calories that is potential energy simply for the fact that at any given point throughout our history, we never knew when we were going to be chased by something big. So we had to have energy ready just like this. Because it takes time for fat to turn into energy. It doesn't happen right away. And that's why when you have people like the marathon runners, you know, they have 1,500 calories of potential energy sitting there, but they're going to be running for 4 hours, and they're going to burn off that 1,500 calories in a heartbeat. So the night before, they're eating pasta, they're eating chocolate bars, they're eating all sorts of carbohydrates, because they're trying to load up everything that they can within their body, not in fat, but in all these little energy reserves. It's going to be in your liver, it's going to be in your pancreas, it's going to be, you know, in all the soft tissues. And that way, when they're running and they hit that wall is when your body wants to quit because your liver has run out of sugar. Once your liver runs out of sugar, then it's got to find the next place to go to. And that's where you kind of hit the wall and you're tired and your legs hurt and everything hurts. And then your body goes, oh, I know where to find it. And wherever it finds it, whether you can actually store sugar in your brain. This is evidenced by children. Seriously, it is, because kids store more sugar in the brain than adults do. And kids, if you give them a bunch of sugar, they talk faster, they run into things, they get in trouble at my house more often. So it's something that you're not burning fat when you're doing all this cardiovascular exercise. You're burning what's already reserved in your body. Yes, it's improving your cardiovascular health, and it's making you a much more healthy person. But it's really not doing anything for your weight. Yes, you are going to lose weight. If you run a marathon, you're going to lose weight because you're going to sweat a ton. But that weight is going to come back fairly quickly because of the fact that the second you rehydrate your body, it's going to be there. Where you end up losing the weight is when you're at home and you're relaxing and your body is recovering from what you did earlier in the gym. That is actually when your body goes to your fat reserves and burns off your fat reserves, uses it for its healing energy, because it's the healing part that actually grows your muscle. When you work out, when you lift weights, you're breaking up your muscle tissue. And then your body has to repair all of the little fissures that happened in your muscle tissue. When that happens, you gain more muscle, and the more muscle you gain, the more potential energy that you can burn off. So when you're sitting on the treadmill or the Stairmaster, because of the fact that last night you had a cheeseburger. Okay, it was Friday. You're not actually taking care of that cheeseburger. Now, that cheeseburger hasn't even become fat yet. It's still roaming around, and all of the calories from that cheeseburger are trying to figure out where they're going to go. When you are exercising, you're burning the glucose that your body has created over the last 2 days. So when people go, oh, last night it was terrible. Oh, it was terrible. I had cake, I had this and that. I got to go to the gym today. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're going to the gym. It's not going to fix what happened last night. It's just not. You can't fix something like that. It's not a calorie for calorie kind of thing. If the night before you ate 1,500 calories and then you got on the Stairmaster and it said you burned 1,500 calories, you didn't break even, because your body hasn't even dealt with the calories that you had last night yet. What you're trying to do is build muscle so that as you are at rest, you have the ability to burn more calories. Now, of course it's important to be able to do cardiovascular exercise. I don't do enough of it. I mean, if I had to run from here to where my car is, which is, I don't know, it seemed like 1.5 miles away now that they have that construction. But I would be out of breath. I would be in trouble. My whole thing about running is I don't run unless I'm chased, and they better be bigger than me. I will walk fast with an occasional pause, but that's kind of the key. You don't have to, when it comes to cardiovascular exercise, to help build your heart and make everything healthy, you don't have to run like crazy. If you enjoy it, great, do it. You're not going to be a more healthy person than somebody that walks. Because if you walk at a decent rate, I'm not talking about a stroll, I'm talking about you're getting from here to there as fast as you can while walking. That is just as good for you as it is to run. In fact, in many ways, it's better for you because it doesn't put your joints under that kind of pain and stress. People that run often have problems with their sugar and their glucose levels because of the fact that they're burning so much so quickly that by the time that they're done, their body is screaming for more. And that's where you'll see these people, and it cracks me up when I look at Facebook, these people that accomplish these great runs, and then you see them and they're smiling and they have their cake and their beer and this and that, and they, everything that they're doing right now, it defeats everything they just did in their marathon. It's all about knowing what kind of energy you're using and knowing that the calories that you're quote unquote burning, it's not a calorie in, a calorie out. It's just not, because you store different kinds of calories. And the calories that are burned when you're on the elliptical, it's not fat calories. It's potential energy calories. And there's a big difference, big difference. When people talk about a weight loss program, because people have talked about what I do, I want to be a part of your weight loss program. It's not a weight loss program. It's just not. Saying that there's a program to have it so you are going to lose weight, that it's putting the cart before the horse, and in fact it's shooting the horse and moving the cart someplace else. Because of the fact you can't exercise and you can't eat to try to lose weight. You have to eat and exercise to be healthy. When you start finding your health is when the weight goes away. When people focus on their weight in a number on a scale, their success is going to be so much slower than somebody who is looking to be healthy, looking to feel healthy. When I lost the weight that I lost, and I lost 100 and some odd pounds, and I lost it quickly. I lost it in about 4 months. In the first month, I watched the scale every single day. In the first week, I lost 20-some pounds, and I was excited. And then the next week, it was like 10 pounds, and I was still pretty good. And then it slowed down, and I started freaking out. And every day, I'd be on it 6 times and be like, what if I do one leg and I breathe in? And I realized that I was focusing so much and concentrating so much on the number on the scale that it was causing me to always have anxiety. And anxiety causes you to store cortisol, and cortisol makes you retain water, and water makes you be heavier. I told myself I'm not even going to look at the scale. I didn't look at the scale for a month. When I went back to the scale after 2 months, I'd lost 72 pounds. So I didn't look at the scale again until my pants were falling off me. I was like, I wonder what I am now. And I was like, holy cow. The number on the scale isn't as important as your health. It just isn't. I know that we live in a society that kind of reinforces vanity, and everybody wants to look good, and everyone wants to be a size whatever. And I'm just as guilty as that as anybody. But what it comes down to is that until you can get your health under control, because everybody has health issues when they are overweight. Whether they want to, fully realize them or not, they have either health issues right then or potential health issues. When you get your health under control, the weight comes. And that's the key. So don't get on a weight loss program. I won't say anything negative about any particular weight loss program because they might be in the building. But when you have points, when you have things where you are tracking everything that you're doing, and your focus simply is getting, I need to get 2 pounds lighter this week. What if you don't? If you did everything right, if you ate all the right foods, you exercised all the right way, and for some reason that week you didn't lose your 2 pounds, what does that mean? I mean, seriously, you did everything the right way. Your body chose not to lose 2 pounds for reasons that we don't know. Does that mean that you failed? Because can you control how fast if we could control how fast we can lose weight, every one of us by the end of this week would be skinny and I'd look like Brad Pitt. I'd grow hair. If I can control my weight, I can control my hair. There it goes. You can't control how fast or how slow your body is going to lose weight. Or if you're trying to get big and get muscles, you can't control how fast it's going to gain weight. So when you're on a weight loss program, the terrible thing about it is that you live or die by a number, when you should be living or dying on how you feel. If you feel better, you cannot lose a single pound, but you can lose an inch. I've seen it happen so many times. I mean, I would lose like 10 pounds and have 3 belt loops change, and that's not 10 pounds. But you can gain muscle. You can be retaining water. You can actually be gassy. If you have enough gas in you, you can gain a pound. I've seen it happen. There's so many different reasons why a weight loss program just is unhealthy when it comes to mentally and emotionally. I don't want people to focus on a weight loss program. I want them to focus on a healthy lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle includes eating the right things, exercising, and having healthy relationships with, not just, the people around you, but healthy relationships with food. And there are so many different programs that are weight loss programs that don't allow you to have a healthy relationship with food. That's why I don't like programs that have like point systems to them, because you can have a piece of cake that might be 10 points, and you just used up all your points for the rest of the day and you haven't had anything good. Then you're punishing your body. You're saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I used up all my points. I can't have, some celery or some carrots or hummus. You're robbing your body of nutrients because you made a poor decision. If you allow yourself to make poor decisions and then be like, well, that was dumb, I'm not going to do that again, but for the rest of the day, I'm going to do the right thing. That's what you need to do. You need to have a healthy relationship with food. You have to have a healthy relationship with exercise. There are people in this building that I know of that they exercise 7, 8, 9, 10 times a week. 2 classes a day. That's not healthy. It's crazy and tiring just to think about it. You can work out every single day, but have a healthy relationship with the exercise that you're doing. Don't do it because, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, I'm not going to have burned, I'm sure I had 1,800 calories today, so I better burn 1,805 calories today just so I can lose another ounce. Because it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You should exercise about 45 minutes a day, doing whatever you're going to do. If you're going to lift weights, lift weights. Heck, when I lift weights, I lift for about a half hour. In and out and done. When I do cardiovascular exercise, it's anywhere between 2 minutes, and I quit. Woo, that was hard. Or 45 minutes. But you should never work out for more than an hour a day. If you enjoy biking or enjoy running, sure, go for a run, go for a bike ride, and that can go up to Mackinac, last 2-3 hours. But don't do it like, oh gosh, I've got to finish my 5-hour run. There's way too much to do in life to have a 5-hour run. It's all about having healthy relationships with your body, your friends, your family, food, just being healthy. It's so much more important than a weight loss program. So, what things should you do to work out? It is different for men than women. If you are looking to build muscle, then your goal should be using a weight that you can comfortably do for 6 to 12 reps. You don't want to pick a weight that you could sit there and you could do 50 of them, because that doesn't do anything to build muscle. It doesn't. It wastes your time. There's so many times I see guys, too, that they pick a weight that they can't do, but they want to look really good. So they sit there, and this is how they're doing curls. They're like, woo, look at my back. You need to, number one, know how to do exercises with the right form. Because unless you are isolating a muscle the correct way, you're not going to be able to build a muscle. And you need to make sure that you're using a weight that is hard enough that on the last rep that you do, that's the last rep you're going to be able to do with good form. So if it's your 8th rep and you know if you do 9, you're going to have to be jarring your back and everything, you're done at 8. But you don't want to pick something that you can do 15, 20, 30 reps of. Because that goes from an anaerobic, which is muscle building, to an aerobic, which is cardiovascular. Circuit training. Some people like to go from one machine to the another, and they just keep on going through them as fast as they can. That is great for cardiovascular. It's terrible, terrible, terrible when it comes to trying to build muscle. Circuit training was developed in the 70s. Nautilus actually was the first company to kind of put together a circuit training program. And they figured, we'll have you do 16 different exercises, you'll do it in 20 minutes, and you'll be done with your workout for that day. It is good. It's very good to build your stamina. It's good to build your cardiovascular. But as far as muscle building goes, it just doesn't work, because you have to allow your muscles, number one, you have to allow them time to recover, and you have to work them out until exhaustion. And that's the key. In order to build muscle, you have to completely exhaust the muscle. So if you're going to do arms, for instance, let's say biceps. For men should do anywhere between 9 to 12 sets total for biceps. Women, 6 to 9 sets. And that has to do with the differences in hormones. It has nothing to do with strength, because I'll tell you what, there's some girls that are at the gym that I'm at that I wouldn't even mess with at all. In fact, I think you know one of them too. That brings up another point, though. I'm glad I didn't name names. Some women are afraid that they don't want to get big and bulky. I don't want to get man muscles. You can't. You literally can't. The young lady that I'm talking about at the gym that I go to is getting help to get her muscles bigger, if you know what I mean. And that, that's a whole different ball of wax and shaving cream and everything. It's literally impossible for a woman to become muscular like a man, because you don't produce enough testosterone. You can get toned. I mean, you can look, Tina Turner, back in the day, she could, she took on Ike. So she did all right. But yeah, you can get really toned and muscular, but you're not going to end up looking like a man. It's literally impossible to do without chemical enhancement. Yeah? No, 6 to 9 sets. So let's say you do 3 exercises. Let's take arms, for instance. You do barbell curls, and then you do preacher curls, where you put your arms over the thing and you do curls this way. And then you were to do cable curls, where you do them this way. You should do 3 exercises, 3 sets for each of them. So that's your 9 sets. As far as your reps go, you should have your reps be 6 to 12 reps. Whatever your last rep is, though, needs to be the last rep you could do with control. Okay? Men have a different potential for gaining muscle mass. You know, we produce more testosterone, and testosterone is what causes you to become anabolic. Anabolic doesn't mean doesn't have anything to do with steroids. It means getting you to a state where muscle building is happening and it's easy. Eating is a key way to also try to change your anabolic and your metabolic state. The more protein you eat, the more muscle you're going to be able to build. Very important. Lots of people that do work out, they do protein supplements. And one of the biggest ones is soy. Everybody has soy protein. Soy for men, terrible. Absolutely terrible. It'll enlarge your prostate. It'll shrink other things. Just telling you. For women, it kind of does the opposite. Women that have a bunch of soy, they will end up having male gender characteristics. They'll start losing their hair. And other things will start growing that you don't really want to grow. And most of it is because soy is now genetically modified. About 98% of soy in our country now is genetically modified. They modify it to be a bigger bean, and by having a bigger bean, they have more estrogen in it. Soy is known for estrogen. When your estrogen level boosts, your body tries to compensate for it. And when your body tries to compensate, it raises your testosterone. For men, the reason why that causes the changes are when our testosterone goes up from an outside source, it means that our source that creates testosterone doesn't have to work as hard. So it shrinks. But it causes your prostate, which is affected by testosterone, to grow. And nobody wants that to happen. So if you're going to do protein supplements, whey and casein are really your only two options. There's 3 or 4 other ones, but they are really slow acting. I'm trying to think of the newest one that they've come out with. I can't think of it. But it's a slow acting, and they even say on the jug that it's a slower acting so it can work overnight. Well, the problem is it doesn't stay in you that long. I mean, if it takes 4 hours for it to synthesize into your body, it's been out of your body for 2 hours by the time, it's going to start synthesizing. When it comes to whey and casein proteins, they synthesize fairly quickly, within 15 minutes of you taking it. Yeah?
I don't mean to be a pain. Can you spell casein?
C-A-S-E-I-N, I think. Thanks. I've never been good at spelling bees, but that felt kind of neat. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of doing supplements like that because, number one, the quality control in our country when it comes to protein supplements, there is none. So when it says that you're getting 30 grams of whatever kind of protein per scoop, they have no guarantee of that. You could get 5 grams, you could get 45 grams. The key element to know is that our bodies can only synthesize 30 grams per hour anyway. So if you get a scoop that has 30 and you're putting 4 scoops in your thing, I'll tell you where the other 3 scoops are going. Literally down the drain. Because your body can only handle so much at a time. It's also important to know that if your body tries to handle more than 30, then you can get into problems with kidney stones and things like that. Casein it's part of milk. It's a milk protein just like whey. It's a longer chain fatty acid, and so it takes your body a little bit longer to absorb it and synthesize it the right way. But casein protein is more effective in mass building. Whey protein builds more of your fast twitch muscles, which are the smaller ones. So the casein builds the bigger ones. And it's been, I mean, they've been selling it as a supplement for 40, 50 years. It's very hard on most people's stomachs. Both of them, I mean, in my business, I perform food sensitivity tests on people. And we've done, I don't know, probably 260, 270. I would say at least 70 to 75% of all the people that have taken the food sensitivity tests have been sensitive to both whey and casein. And if you're sensitive to them, there's absolutely no point in taking those supplements because your body can't absorb them and your white blood cells attack them, so you're lowering your immunity every single time you're taking your shake. The other thing that is bad about taking protein supplements and meal replacement supplements, meal replacement shakes, they cause you to have more food sensitivities because your body starts looking at the shake as the elements within the shake as viruses. And I have had so many people that have come in who have been on the different shakes for months and months and months that they are whey, soy, and casein sensitive, and sensitive through the roof. It's just not good to be on them. If you have them every now and then, I'll tell you right now, on days that I've worked out really hard and I feel like I'm going to pass out, I'll get a protein shake, but I get it mainly because of the fact that the sugars in it work really quickly and I don't feel like I'm going to pass out anymore. It's not because I really think that the protein is going to do all that much for me. Plus, it kind of tastes like chocolate milk, and I like chocolate milk. And it gives me an excuse to have some. I don't do protein supplements. I eat a whole lot. And that's where you should be getting your protein is through your food. If you work out, if you build your muscle and you work out, the amount of food that you can eat in a day is outrageous. It really is. I eat over 7,000 calories a day. I wake up in the middle of the night to eat because I'm hungry, not because I have to do this. No, I wake up, I'm hungry. So I eat. I have a big old vat of eggs. Just dump them out and eat and then go back, and my wife really doesn't appreciate it because if you have that many eggs when you're sleeping, you can't control certain things. But we won't go there. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of animal protein, especially when it comes to muscle building. Animal protein is really good. When it's great, you can get protein from legumes and nuts and beans and all these things, just not in the amounts that you can from a steak or from tuna fish or from chicken. You have to eat a ton of beans to equal the chicken breast. And then you're kind of in the egg situation again with what ends up happening to you. I think, people who are vegetarian and vegan, I'll tell you right now, I believe in vegetarianism and veganism for short amounts of time. You should never be a vegetarian or a vegan for longer than a year or two. Because what ends up happening is you don't get the kind of cholesterols that you need. And your muscles and your neurons and your myelin sheaths of your neurons, they start deteriorating. Because the only way that you can maintain those things is through animal fats and animal proteins. And when you don't have any animal fat and animal protein, there's no way to rebuild it because you can't get the same kind of cholesterols that our bodies need. And that's why people should also do everything they can to get off cholesterol medications. Because when you're on the cholesterol medication to control your cholesterol, you're stripping the cholesterol away from your muscles and your neurons. And that's why people that have been on cholesterol medications for a long time, they're more apt to get things like Parkinson's disease. My nutrition program, you eat 5 times a day. Not that. That's like option Q, okay? You eat 5 times a day.
There's the right way, the wrong way, and
Yes. 3 of the meals a day are your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then the other 2 are just snacks. All of your food is prepared by you. You don't get things out of boxes. I mean, you get pasta and stuff like that out of
So
boxes.
what was wrong with this? I prepared it.
Absolutely nothing was wrong with that.
If you could give Brian as well.
Exactly. I supply you with the nose plugs and everything for the program. No. You know, you'll be on anywhere between 1,700 to 2,000 calories a day. You eat anything that you want. You just 1,700.
Oh, geez, I'm hearing things wrong.
That's what you've been doing wrong. Yeah, you'll eat all the things that you want to eat. You're not force-fed things that you don't want to eat, because it's not a weight loss program. It's a lifestyle. And if you have to eat stuff that you hate, you're not going to do it for the rest of your life. Yeah, it depends on the person. And that's the one thing that I've learned more than anything since I've started this, is that nutrition is not a one-size-fits-all. It just isn't. What works for one person might not work at all for the other person. I deal with a lot of diabetics. I deal with a lot of people who have, COPD. I don't just deal with people who want to lose weight. My program is all about health, and it's steered specifically towards what your individual health needs are. Yes, I do deal with the glycemic index, depending on if your body needs it. There are some people that glycemic index, it does not matter one bit, because everything works so well that they can handle, pasta and rice and sugar, and they're fine. I control the amount of sugar somebody has, but when it comes to grains and stuff like that, it depends on the person.
Is that based on that blood test you were talking about?
No, not necessarily. I mean, the food sensitivity test, that helps to know what somebody's roadblock is. Because a lot of times people will be going and they'll go great, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, I'm doing all the same things, why am I not losing weight? Because food sensitivities, they're always there, but they only start impeding your progress or when your body starts being happy at the place that it is. And our bodies are made to store weight. We're just made to. It's our survival mode. So once we lose enough weight, our bodies start kind of freaking out and saying, that's kind of against everything our body was made to do. So it'll slow down. And it'll slow down too because of the fact that we're now eating foods that it's noticing it doesn't look at as food. It looks at as some kind of a virus or a toxin. So that's when we have to switch it up and avoid those things. And then your body can relax and start metabolizing things again. So, if you have blood work from a doctor that shows, your blood sugars and your glucose and all of that, I love to see that kind of stuff because that helps me to develop your plan. But it's not required. We can kind of figure it out as we go. Test. They are out of Maryland. They're one of 3. There are 3 companies in the United States that do it. Test does the most in-depth analysis. They do 186 foods. And they do a really good job. That is actually a trick question. Because if the other things you eat in the day are good and don't have sugar, then no, you can't have enough. Well, sure. I mean, here's what I do in a day. I have virtually no sugar in the day. I probably have 10 grams, if that, of sugar in a day. I will eat in a day about 48 eggs. And I'll eat
Every day?
every day.
Is that whole eggs or egg whites? Or?
Depends. Depends on my mood at the time. I get sick of egg whites sometimes, so I'll have fried eggs. But I'll have about 20 to 26 ounces of chicken in a day. And then I'll have about 8 cups of broccoli. Or, see, I'm really bad with my vegetables. I like broccoli, I like asparagus, and I like baby spinach. That's about it.
Wow.
I know, truth comes out, huh? Nutritionist gone bad.
Yes, that's right.
Although, no, wait.
You are pointing at me.
I ended up having a green bean and yellow bean and medley the other day, and I actually liked it. It's the first time ever. But anyway, yeah, I have a ton of calories in a day. And I can tell you too, and this is, people say, well, does this mean I can never have this ever again? Last weekend, I went out and we weren't able to celebrate Mother's Day with my mom on Mother's Day, so I took them to Clara's for the brunch. And I walked by the dessert place 3 or 4 times and was perfectly good. I was an angel. I walked by it the 5th time, like, damn it, I've been by here 4 times, I'm grabbing something. And so I did, I grabbed like 2 of their little teeny little puffy things, whatever they are. I don't even, yeah, the cream puff that has chocolate on it. I grabbed 2 of those. I grabbed one of the orange cake things. And then they had this thing that it looked like a sundae. And I didn't know what it was, but it looked like sundae, and I hadn't had sundae in forever. It ended up being lemon cake, and it was awful. But I had the 2 cream puffs, I had my orange slice of orange cake thing, and a bite of that lemon thing, and literally within 8 minutes of that, I was sicker than a dog. Sicker than a dog. Couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough. That's what sugar and that kind of stuff does to my body now. So yeah, you can have whatever you want once you get to a part where your metabolism's working the right way, but sugar is a toxin. It's the same exact thing as alcohol. The only difference is alcohol synthesizes in your brain, and that's why you feel all loopy, and sugar synthesizes in your liver. So when you have a bunch of sugar, it's a toxin. And if you're healthy and you're not used to it, you're going to be sick as a dog.
So is alcohol better than sugar?
I'll tell you what, if you have alcohol with sugar on the rim, then you're perfect right there. No, alcohol's not better than sugar. Oh yeah, depending on the kind of yogurt that you get. I mean, your body can handle 20 grams of additive sugar a day. If you look at a yogurt has anywhere between 16 to 40 some grams of sugar.
It was shocking, I guess, to see how much sugar you don't even realize that you're taking in.
Yeah, and a piece of bread. I mean, one piece of wheat bread has about 17 grams of sugar in it. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can do, of course, you can have too much of anything. I mean, moderation is important. The reason why I eat as much as I eat is because of the exercise that I put myself through during a day. If you're not going to exercise like I exercise, there's no reason to have the amount of food that I have. But, I mean, my hobby is powerlifting. I'm getting old and I want to see how strong I can get before I break myself. And that's the only reason why I eat the way that I do. But I probably in the gym burn easily 3,000 to 4,000 calories that are real muscle calories just from trying to deadlift and do the things that I do. So, you know, it would make no sense for anyone to eat as much as I eat if they were just having a regular normal day, because they would gain weight. Hand over fist, they would gain weight. So yeah, there's too much of everything. Well, I appreciate you coming to the little classroom and coming to listen to me. And yes, you just call. I have a number on the sheet. They will sign you up for a consultation. I will tell you right now, we're not booking any consultations until I think the end of June, because I'm booked solid right now. But once you have the consultation and we talk and I tell you what I'm going to do, then you basically sign up for the program. And you get meal plans every single week. And I change them every week.
Horrible.
Yeah, I mean, there will be lots of programs that are similar, because there are people that have very similar sensitivities and issues and things like that. So I try to, in fact, I try now, because online we have a group that gets together and they share their stories and their complaints and, you know, the names they call me and stuff like that. Oh no, there are common sensitivities. If you're a woman, you're probably going to be sensitive to wheat, gluten. Very good chance that you're going to have a yeast sensitivity, and you're either going to have dairy or garlic. That's just the way that it goes. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean, there are common sensitivities. Women, almost all women are, like I said, we've had 270 come through, and as far as wheat and gluten, we've had 4 that weren't. So it's outrageous, the percentage. I am a huge fan of Paul Chek. Paul Chek. He runs the Chek Institute in Arizona. He actually was one of my professors, and brilliant man.
How do you spell last name, please?
Chek. And David Wolf is another one. David Wolf is, he's kind of out there. He's got dreadlocks, and he's kind of a crazy guy. But he's really good.
Sorry, with or without an E for David Wolf?
With an E.
Oh, sorry.
Then one of my favorites is if you go to undergroundwellness.com. That Sean Cruxton is one of my friends. He's one of the people that got me into what I'm doing. And he interviews all of these famous people. He's had interviews with the Surgeon General. He's the kind of person that he gets down to the truth about food. And he even tried to interview the president of Monsanto, who realized who he was. And really great guy.
He's got a huge YouTube channel.
Yeah.
How do you spell last name?
Cruxton, I think. You'll find it at undergroundwellness.com. But yeah, those are all good resources right there. Oh, really? Well, yeah, there's lots of stories of stuff like that, that you can fix neurological disorders with. One of the big things that I deal with is people with MS and Parkinson's. And you can make significant changes in their lives. Yep. Okay? Thank you much.
For coming.
Thank you. I'm going to walk now 7.4 miles to get back to my car.